Hey guys, so you've clicked on this video because you want to improve your rail game by up to 1000%. Now, do you always take off on a wave on your backhand and you always sort of feel a bit uncoordinated or off balance, or you dig rail a lot and you can't really see what the wave's doing and you don't really know what maneuvers to do, or maybe you feel like you're going a lot slower than you do on your forehand? This video is for you. We're going to go through some tips, just some quick little tips to help you improve your backhand surfing and also to have a lot more fun out there in the surf and to stop struggling. So the first tip is arm positioning. Now, your back arm is super important to your balance. Where you look is where you go as well, but another important thing for your backhand is your back arm. You can see his back arm just here it stays very forward. So you can see it stays pointing forwards in the direction that he's going to go. So it's actually in front of him. His body is just the angle of the video that you can't really see, but it's pointing and he's holding that arm out in front of him, sort of like this as he goes along backhand. What that does is it keeps your hips forwards and it keeps your chest up, and it also keeps your chest facing forward as well. So on your backhand, you always have a tendency to face the wrong way, to face surf sideways, and then to squat down like a pit bull dog. You don't want to be squatting down like a frog. You want to be sort of twisted forwards, and you want to have that T-Rex stance. So you want to be bent at the knees, crouching at the knees, hinged at the waist, with your back straight and your chest up and your arms forward. And that's how a T-Rex stands. So when you are going up the top of the wave from your bottom turn, your back arm needs to be used to stay forward and to drive through that bottom turn. So you can see his back arm, he's keeping it forward and he's pushing, and then it allows you to stay forward and to get right over on him. So make sure that when you're surfing, you see his back arm, he's really getting it forward just there. And make sure that when you're surfing next time, keep your back arm forward. That's going to really help your surfing. If you think of the T-Rex pose, the handlebars are forwards, and they keep in front of you. So what that does is it keeps your balance forward, your momentum fast, and it also just keeps your balance centered in the surfboard. And it allows you to get on rail a lot quicker. So if you want to move right, you want to move left, you want to jump up and jump down, you can do that straight away when you have your arms forward. So you can see Yago Dora in this video, his handlebars are always forwards. Very rarely does his arm go back behind him or his front arm is behind him. His arms are very much in front of his body, like he's riding a bicycle or a motorbike. Think of them as the control panel, as your launch control center, or your driving arms, like you're driving something like this. Think of it like that, and that's going to help you a lot. Keep your handlebars forward. That's my best tip. Before we continue, I just wanted to say, if you're finding these tips helpful for your surfing and you're finding these videos, generally informative, please hit the like button. Leave a question below on what you're trying to improve on in your surfing. I want to know so I can help you out. So the next part of this video is about your knees. Your knees need to be bent and your back needs to be straight. You don't want to be bending over at the waist with straight legs. And a big and important part of that is your back knee. Your back knee needs to be knocked down. So what I mean by that is have your hips facing forwards, and you need to compress down super low. So a video will come up on the screen just now of me doing an example. Instead of surfing squatted, you want to surf with your hips forward and your arms forward, and your back knee needs to be knocked down, and you need to be in that sort of almost kneeling position. And that is on your backhand a super important way that you can improve your surfing. I cannot exaggerate that enough. The third tip is your front arm directs and your back arm drives torque. So what I wanted to explain is the back arm lifts up and directs to the top of the wave's face. Then the front arm lifts up and directs up towards the top of the wave's face like that. And then the back arm pulls back behind the surfer and drives that back foot in. So we'll watch another turn just here. Back arm comes around just like we talked about in the first tip. Front arm lifts up, directs the surfboard up to vertically, and then the back arm is used to twist the body as needed. Sometimes it doesn't always go behind your body, your back arm. Other times it does. So this one it will. So he wants a bit more rotation out of this maneuver. Front arm's directing towards where he wants to go. Back arm lifts up and it also twists behind his back, and that basically pushes into his back foot. It causes him to drive those fins and to drive out of it with speed. This section, he's got a heap of speed coming in this section. Back arm's forward, front arm's touching the wave's face. So the other thing about front arm directing is that if you touch the wave's face or touch on your bottom turn, it really helps you to get on rail, rotate around a nice radius, and to slingshot you straight up into the lip. And that's exactly what's happened in this one. Front arm lifts up and directs him up to the top of the lip. Back arm comes around his back, twists around the back here, and his front arm directs back down to the wave, down to the bottom of the wave, and then he compresses and rides out. Back arm comes back around the front of him again to direct where he was going. His front arm's directing as well. His back arm twists in front as he goes through the bottom turn, and that gets him pushing into his back foot. So as soon as he starts to push into his back foot, that's because his back arm is pushing forwards. Now his front arm here is touching and is leading him where he's going. Back arm is for driving around the maneuver and to putting power in, laying down the power. And then his front arm is lifting up the front, lifting him up to go to the top of the wave's face, directing him in that direction. Again, front arm directs, the back arm drives torque. Then you'll see him point that front arm, and then his back arm is digging into the wave's face, and that allows him to rotate around and to drive into his back foot. But this example here is really, really good. So this one, he goes up, and not this one, the next turn, I'm pretty sure. See those handlebars, nice and forwards, handlebars, super, super good. Back arm driving through, front arm's touching, front arm lifts up, directs to where he's wanting to go. His handlebars are directing him. Then as he pushes out of the maneuver, back arm swings around behind his hips, pushes him back down the wave's face, and pushes a lot of weight into his back foot. Now this is the turn. Touches on the front foot with his front arm, rotates him around that radius. Back arm is pushing forward and coming around, pushing weight into his back foot naturally, biomechanically. And then his front arm lifts up to the top of the lip, directs him, and you watch the board slingshot in that direction, whoosh. And then his back arm comes around and twists back. Look at that, twist back. It's like he's giving a backhander to the wave. He's slapping the wave with his backhand. That's super, super important. So the next part of this is that I'm curious. I want to know what it is that you're trying to improve on in your surfing. And I want you to comment down below. Hey, Harry, I'm trying to land an air reverse. Hey, Harry, I'm trying to land a straight air. Or, hey, Harry, I can't do laybacks. Please help me. And I'll help you guys in the comments. The other thing as well is in the comments, there will be a link to Surf Precision Academy. It's an online academy that is essentially designed to improve your surfing as fast as possible and a lot faster than the other competitors out there. Now, it's surf coaching that's designed specifically to get you to improve at speed, but also with a lot of accuracy, so that when you are applying techniques, you're not just applying a random technique from their book. You're applying a technique that we know that you need to improve your surfing. So you'll get hours and hours and hours of online tutorials on most of the maneuvers out there in surfing, and you couldn't possibly get through them. And then the next part of it is that you have direct mentorship access to coaches, which is included in the package. And then finally, you also get an access to an amazing online community of other surfers who are also in the academy, and they're essentially just other students. And there's surfers that are better than you, there's surfers that are worse than you, and then what there is a really good collaborative community on there, and other surfers post questions, and then you can respond and answer their questions if you feel educated enough to answer the question, or you can post a question on there with your videos or a clip of you doing a turn and say, oh, hey guys, how can I improve this, or hey, I'm falling off here. Other surfers will get in there and start replying, as well as the coaches too. And if you want that at 20% off, use the code STOMP, and that's the code that we're going with at the moment for 20% off. So if you hit the link in the bio, you hit the link in the comment, you can access that.